What's the real reason that one teacher seemed to hate your entire family? My English teacher, Ms. Kendra, spent 3 years making my life a living hell, and I only found out why after graduation. She literally had a vendetta against my entire family, and I never saw it coming. I was in 9th grade when I first got Ms. Kendra for honors English. From day one, something was off. Like the way she'd call on me for every hard question even when other kids had their hands up, or how she'd mark me down for the exact same answers other students got full points for. At first I thought maybe I was being dramatic. Like maybe she was just a tough teacher and I wasn't used to high school standards yet. But then she started making these weird comments about my family traits, and how some things never change when I'd turn in assignments. I remember one time I was literally 30 seconds late to class after lunch and she made this huge scene about how punctuality isn't genetic but apparently tardiness is in some bloodlines, and everyone just stared at me. I'd go home crying at least once a week. My mom would tell me to just try harder, that some teachers are just strict. But this felt different. It wasn't strictness. It was like, targeted. Things got worse when she assigned this personal narrative essay. I wrote about my dad teaching me to ride a bike when I was 7, and she gave me a C, with these bizarre comments like convenient memories and selective storytelling. WTF does that even mean for a 9th grade essay about bike riding? I started noticing she'd get this weird look whenever my dad came up in conversation. Not even just when I mentioned him. One time someone was talking about how their dad got a new job at the hospital and Miss Kendra's whole face just changed. Asked which department super intensely. When they said cardiology, she relaxed but looked at me for like a solid 5 seconds. My dad's an accountant, so IDK what that was about. The real confirmation came when my little brother Trevor started 9th grade while I was in 11th. At dinner one night he was complaining about his psycho English teacher, and I literally felt my stomach drop before he even said her name. He'd gotten Ms. Kendra too. I asked what she was doing, and he described the same exact treatment. Junior year I wasn't in her class anymore, but she'd still find ways to mess with me, like volunteering to chaperone field trips I was on, or randomly selecting my locker during contraband checks. She even tried to block me from joining the literary magazine even though my GPA was well above the requirement. I started paying more attention to when her mood would shift. Mentions of my dad were definitely triggers, but also anytime someone brought up weddings or engagements. There was this one time during senior year when Miss Kieran, the nice history teacher, was showing off her engagement ring in the teacher's lounge, and I happened to walk by. Miss Kendra saw me glance at the ring and literally slammed her coffee mug down so hard it cracked. After that, I started a little experiment. I'd casually mention my dad around her just to see her reaction. Nothing obvious, just stuff like, my dad's picking me up early today, or my dad helped me research this topic. Every single time she'd get this tight look around her eyes and find some way to criticize me within the next few minutes. By graduation, I still had no answers. I'd asked my parents if they knew her and they both said no, never met her before parent-teacher conferences. I was just relieved to be done with her forever. Then came graduation night. We were all at this restaurant downtown celebrating and I went to the bathroom. Who walks in but Miss Kendra? She was there with some other teachers celebrating end of year. We made eye contact in the mirror and for a second I thought she might actually say something nice since I was graduating. Instead, she looked at me and said, "You have his smile. It's unfortunate." Then just walked out. I was shaking. What the actual hell? I told my mom when I got back to the table and she just froze, like completely still. Then she and my dad had this weird silent conversation with their eyes before my dad excused himself. My mom waited until he was gone before telling me that Miss Kendra and my dad were engaged in college. Apparently they were together for 4 years and he broke it off 2 months before the wedding because he met my mom. Miss Kendra had found out she was pregnant right before he ended things but never told him. She lost the baby a few weeks later. By then my parents were already together and she never spoke to him again. My mom said she recognized Ms. Kendra's name when I first mentioned her in 9th grade, but thought it was just a coincidence. She never imagined someone would hold a grudge for almost 20 years and take it out on children. I confronted my dad later that night. Said he had no idea she even lived in the same state anymore. Kept saying he was sorry over and over. I asked if he knew about the pregnancy and he looked genuinely shocked. Said no, she never told him. I believe him, but it doesn't change the fact that 3 kids suffered because of choices he made before we were even born.